What's up, guys? Coach Laird coming at you. I wanted to do a specific video today on basically velocity development, and specifically our velocity development program that we have coming up this summer. We're in the middle of doing our arm care camp here in the spring, and a lot of times people ask the questions like, why I don't want to work on velocity in season. I don't want to do too much in season like arm care because I don't want my arm to be sore and be tired. I'll get questions like, what does that mean? What does arm care mean? Like, what kind of program does that mean? Like, what are you doing? So I'll explain kind of both, because our velocities that we run in the summer and then the off season, which is fall and winter. So basically summer, fall, winter, we run a velocity development program, which includes arm care and arm strengthening. And then in the spring, we always will run a camp for arm care work. And so this is what we see a lot of. So bear with me for like 5-6 minutes if you're one of those people that have trouble watching videos. If you're one of the people that love education and learning, this is for you, specifically about the arm care, arm strength, and velocity development. So in the spring, we always run a camp for arm care because this is what we see. This is what a lot of guys see that do what I do. Guys will start season, especially in the cold weather states, and their arms will be more sore. They'll be excessively sore than a lot of times when they should be, but also as they're ramping up and getting into the season, learning to throw in the cold, learning to develop. What I see is guys not having a plan. There's no plan, there's no programming, there's no consistency, there's no nothing. And even the people that do on-ramps, they say they do go to an on-ramping, an on-ramping program, and then they get in and start building their arm up and everything. Season starts and they just stop everything. And they wonder why their velocity is like this. They wonder why their arm feels good one day and bad one day, especially the two-way guys that play a position and throw on the bump. So the arm care stuff specifically, we do specifically, and we believe in post-throwing arm care and specifically the day after, really focusing on those 2 main days. Some people don't like doing right afterward because they're like, oh man, my arm's tired enough. I completely disagree. So we run ours on Sunday specifically because a lot of guys have that kind of Sunday night off a lot of times, even on the travel ball, and middle school ages and stuff too. So what we focus on is we focus on guys feeling better, moving better. So as season starts, mobility issues, we address those. We work on the T-spine mobility. We work on forearm, make sure the forearms are stretched out and mobile and not getting super tight, which could cause issues. Right? We focus on the lower back, we focus on the ankles, we focus on the knees, we focus on the hips. All of these things are very important in order to be able to stay healthy, but also throw harder, but also take care of your arm. And I need you to think about this. Is like, if your legs get tired when you're throwing, so say you're fine on inning 1, 2, 3, in the 4th, 5th, 6th innings, if your legs are tired, if you're out of shape, if your legs can't take repeated anaerobic explosive movements over and over and over, guess what's going to wear the force? Your arm. That's a problem. So one, we do a lot of leg strengthening, a lot of power work, a lot of sprint work too, sled work to keep the legs strong, mainly not as much on the arm care camps, but on our velocity camps. But specifically, if your legs get tired, and so say someone's throwing a lot, and they're not used to throwing a lot, you've got to make sure you strengthen, right? The scapular stabilizers. You got to strengthen your rotator cuff. You got to make sure the forearm is strong, because this forearm is what those muscles protect the UCL. There's so much that gets involved in this, and most people just think throwing is going to make you feel better, or not throwing makes you feel better. What we also see is we see guys not throwing enough. Most guys get injured because they're undertrained. They're not throwing every single day. You have to throw every single day. You're allowed 1 day off a week, which is after your longest start, your hardest start, your biggest throwing day, specifically for pitchers. And if you're not taking these things seriously, if you're not working on these things like your arm care and all that stuff, sooner or later something breaks down. I always tell your body's like your car. You have to take the car. You have to take care of the car. You have to change your oil. You have to rotate your tires. Check the fluids. You have to take care of things. Buy new tires. Make sure you're taking care of things daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. And arm care and throwing is exactly the same. The reason why injuries go up so high, well, there's a lot of reasons, but a lot of reasons at the younger ages is guys are not strong enough to throw as hard as they do at times, or they're not strong enough and throwing with good enough mechanics. And that's where the mechanical portion comes in. So like if we're doing arm care work, we throw in mechanical work as well too. Mechanical work where we're not throwing as much. We're working on mechanics without getting those hard reps that are putting stress on the arm. That's why those arm care camps are so important. Now, we look at, and like we flirted with the fact of trying to do arm care year round, like a weekly class. But since we do velocity development, and our velocity development is focused around arm care, we just have that camp in the spring to kind of fill in that little couple month void that transitions into the off-season velocity programs and the summer velocity programs. Now, summer velocity program, that is still focused on a lot of arm care. It's focused on a lot of mechanical work. Right now, we don't do as much hardcore training as we do in the off season because we want everybody to feel fresh, because everybody in the summer is playing a million games. So a lot of that is to make sure we stay explosive, like doing our sprint work, doing our anaerobic work, sled work, but also controlling the volume. But then also working on making sure we're getting some long toss in, with teaching them how to throw light long toss, teaching them how to throw kind of medium effort long toss, and teaching them how to throw max effort long toss. A lot of people, kind of don't understand that there's different variations of long toss and different intensities. And that's part of the big reason that we work on these things, is so guys understand, like, throwing is a total body movement. We're working the legs, we're working the hips, we're working the arm, like we're working everything. And the mobility, the strength, and explosiveness is something that you have to train all the time. It's not something you can just pick up randomly. And if you're a guy that wants to be elite of the elite of the elite, you have to work on it every single day. There's no one that's going to become great just working every now and then, just throwing a couple times a week. There's no one that's going to become strong and stay healthy just doing a couple times a week. It's like lifting weights. Like if you just lift weights in the off season and you stop in season, which is like your arm care, this is what the analogy is for, right? You're going to lose that strength. You have to continue to lift. You don't all of a sudden get strong and all of a sudden have to stop lifting. That's not how it works. You're always lifting to get better. You're getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better every single day. That's the secret. It's just being consistent. If you work hard and you're consistent, great things are going to happen, especially when it comes to arm care. You have to do these things day in and day out. So when we run these arm care programs, the velocity programs, we are teaching you a program. We're teaching you how to take care of your arm when you're on your own. We're giving you the tools to do it. And then when you come here, the reason to come is because we are the ones that are setting the standard, and we're changing things constantly over and over and over, and we're holding you accountable. Everybody needs a coach and a mentor to push them to the next level. People can't do that on their own. They can't. It is what it is. So if you want to get to that next level, you want to develop that velocity, put the work in. Get a mentor, get a coach, follow programs, be consistent. That's where your success is going to be. I wanted to do this video outside today because it is just an absolute gorgeous day here in May in Indiana. Can't complain, guys. Got the Cooperstown Expos hat on. Let's get after it, guys. See you later.